My husband told me we couldn't afford a honeymoon, but 3 weeks later, I found a receipt in his car for a five-star resort. When I asked, he said, it was a family trip with my mom and sisters. You wouldn't have enjoyed it. They all laughed when I confronted them. I quietly saved the screenshots, the tickets, and the credit card statements. 6 months later, they were in court, and I was the one holding the evidence. We got married on a warm Sunday in September in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'd wanted something more than a courthouse and lunch at his cousin's house, but he kept telling me we had to be careful with money. Let's not blow our savings, he said. We'll have the honeymoon later, when we can afford it. I didn't fight him on it. I thought I was being understanding. That's what you do when you're a team. I figured we'd take a trip maybe in a few months. I wasn't asking for Paris. A cabin in the mountains or even a beach in Florida would have made me happy. What mattered was being together. 3 weeks after our wedding, he asked me to help clean out his car. Said he was tired of it looking like a dumpster on wheels. I found the usual stuff: old fast food wrappers, random napkins, empty soda bottles. I opened the glove box and started sorting through a stack of receipts and papers. That's when I saw it. It was a folded receipt from the Southern Pearl Resort in Key West. Not a printout, an actual receipt from the front desk. The date hit me first. It was from 2 weeks ago, just a few days after our wedding. The name on the reservation? His. The length of the stay? 5 nights. The room?
Océan Front Suite.
The number of guests? 3. My stomach dropped. I stared at it for a long time. I took pictures of every page, the reservation confirmation, the restaurant charges, the spa treatments. I didn't say a word to him.
Not that day.
Not the day after. I just watched. He never mentioned anything about a trip. Nothing. Kept acting like we were broke. Even made a comment about how maybe next year we could go somewhere. 2 nights later, while he was in the shower, I opened his laptop. He'd left it on the kitchen table. His email was logged in. I searched Pearl Resort. Sure enough, there were multiple emails, booking confirmations, excursion details, photos from the suite. In the email thread, I saw his mom's name and both of his sisters. They were all on the trip. He didn't even try to hide it. The next morning I asked him, just straight up, did you go on a trip to Key West after the wedding? He barely flinched. Didn't even pause. Yeah, he said. It was a family thing. My mom planned it forever ago. I didn't think it mattered. You wouldn't have enjoyed it, it was just them talking about family stuff. I stared at him. You couldn't tell me? I didn't think it was a big deal, he said, looking annoyed now. It was already paid for. It wasn't even fun. I knew he was lying. But it wasn't until 2 weeks later that I got the whole truth. We went to his mom's house for a family dinner. I already had screenshots of the emails, photos, and credit card statements saved on a flash drive in my purse. I wanted to see if they'd keep up the lie. Over dinner, his sister looked at me and said, "So sad you couldn't come to Key West. It was amazing." She said it slow, loud, like she wanted to make sure I heard. Then his mom laughed. "We didn't think it was your kind of place. Lots of seafood. You don't even like shrimp, right?" They all started laughing. Not polite chuckles. Real laughter.
Loud. Rude.
My husband didn't stop them. He didn't say a word. I didn't cry. I didn't react. I just smiled, nodded, and sipped my wine. That night, I made copies of everything I had. I started tracking his spending. I opened my own bank account. I got a separate P.O. box. I pulled my credit report and looked at everything with my name on it. That's when I saw the bigger problem. He had added my name to a joint credit card and was using it during that trip. I never signed anything. But there it was, thousands of dollars charged at the resort. My name. My credit. He didn't just lie. He committed fraud. I contacted a lawyer. I gave her everything, emails, receipts, texts. I told her I wasn't just trying to get out of a bad marriage. I wanted to make sure his family never laughed at me again. 6 months later, we were in court. I wasn't sitting beside him anymore.
He was on the stand.
I was the one holding the evidence. The court date came faster than I expected. In the months leading up to it, I stayed quiet. I kept working my job at the vet clinic in Willow Street like nothing was happening. Came home, cooked dinner, smiled when he kissed me on the cheek. But inside, I was counting down the days. I had moved most of my money into a separate account. I started staying later at work just to avoid going home. I'd come in smelling like dog shampoo, exhausted, but I'd rather be tired than sit across from him at dinner pretending nothing was wrong. Then one night, I came home and found him in the bedroom, digging through my dresser. He tried to act normal, like he was just looking for socks, but I saw the flash drive in his hand, the one I kept hidden under my bras. "What the hell is this?" he asked. I didn't flinch. "Evidence," I said. "For court."
He laughed.
Just stood there laughing like I'd made a joke. "You think you're going to take me down over a vacation?" "No," I said, walking past him. "I'm taking you down for fraud." After that, he changed. He stopped pretending. He got mean. Started sleeping on the couch. Slammed doors. Said things under his breath like, "Ungrateful bitch." I recorded every word. Logged every incident. Then one day, I came home and the front door was unlocked. I walked in and found the living room torn apart. Couch cushions thrown. Cabinets open. My file drawer in the bedroom was empty. He had taken the originals. I filed a police report that night. I already had backups in the cloud, but I wanted it on record. My lawyer was furious, but impressed. "You need to move out," she said.
Now.
I stayed at my sister's in Harrisburg for the last 3 months before court. I left a fake flash drive behind in my old nightstand. 2 weeks before the trial, he broke it in half and left it on the counter. Like a warning. At court, his lawyer tried to say the charges were exaggerated, that it was a simple misunderstanding. A family vacation gone misinterpreted, they called it. My lawyer didn't even flinch. She pulled out the credit card records, charges made under my name, on accounts I never opened. She showed the emails, the screenshots, even the resort's security camera stills. My husband standing at check-in. His sister by the pool. His mom ordering drinks at the bar. I sat across from him while they played a video. Him and his sisters laughing, his mom saying, "She thinks they can't afford a honeymoon. Meanwhile, we're out here in paradise." More laughter. He smiled in the video. Smiled like it was the best moment of his life. He didn't smile in court. The judge asked him flat out, "Why was your wife not invited?" He shrugged. "It wasn't her scene. Yet you charged the entire trip to a credit card in her name." She didn't complain at the time. I stood up then. Because I didn't know. I didn't know until I found the receipt in your car. The room went quiet. Then my lawyer added, and when she confronted him, his entire family laughed in her face. That was when the judge leaned forward and said, "We're going to need a full investigation into these charges." It got worse from there. A week after that court hearing, things started unraveling fast. The judge ordered a full audit of our shared finances going back 18 months. I thought I knew the worst already, but what came out in that audit made my stomach turn. There were charges to spa salons in New Jersey, places I'd never been, jewelry stores in Delaware, a steakhouse in Baltimore where he spent $600 in one night. That same night, he had told me he was working late. And it wasn't just the vacation. He had been using my name and my credit to apply for department store cards, small personal loans, and even tried to lease a second car. All without my knowledge. My lawyer got a hold of those applications. He forged my signature. Not well, either. It looked like a kid copying cursive. We added forgery to the case. Mail fraud. Identity theft. The DA got involved. But the worst part? One night, about 2 weeks after the financial audit started, I got a phone call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. It was his ex-girlfriend. Not the one before me, one from years ago. She'd heard about the court case through a mutual friend. And she wanted to talk. "I think I know what he's doing," she said. He did the same thing to me. I met her in person a few days later, in a diner halfway between her town and mine. She showed me a stack of old emails and letters, same pattern. Love bombing. Promises. Then secret spending in her name. She said when she tried to confront him, he got violent. threatened her family. I didn't press charges, she said. I was scared. But I'm not scared anymore. We gave her statement to the DA. They reopened an old police file from 2017 in her county. Suddenly, my husband wasn't just facing civil court. He was facing criminal charges. But he didn't know that yet. Because the night before his second court appearance, he tried to scare me again. I was staying at my sister's house still, and I woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of my car alarm going off. I ran outside. Tires slashed, windshield cracked. My sister called the cops. Her doorbell camera caught him walking back to his truck with the knife still in hand. He was arrested at 3:37 a.m., less than an hour later. I watched the cruiser drive off with him in the back seat, barefoot and in a hoodie. His mom called me that morning, left a voicemail. You've ruined everything. He loved you, and you ruined him. You'll regret this. I saved it, played it in court the next week. The judge asked again, do you still want to proceed with divorce and all charges? I said yes. I looked right at him, sitting there in a wrinkled shirt and cheap tie, trying to keep his hands from shaking. He had no idea that one of his sisters had turned on him, too. It was his younger sister who turned. She showed up at the courthouse alone, didn't sit with their mom, didn't even make eye contact with her brother. After court, she walked straight up to my lawyer and said, "Can I talk to you in private?" I was there. I heard everything. She told us that the whole family trip was her brother's idea. He pitched it 2 weeks before the wedding. Said he wanted one last getaway before he was tied down. Told their mom I wouldn't care, said I was too boring for Key West and would ruin the vibe. But the worst part? He told them he was using his credit. Told them not to say anything to me because it would stir up drama. She said the second she found out the card had my name on it, after the trip, she wanted to speak up. But her mom shut her down. That girl's nothing but baggage, his mom had said. He can do better. She cried while telling us all this. Said she'd testify if she had to. 2 weeks later, she did. It was the final court hearing. He had been out on bail since the car incident, but under house arrest. This was the day they decide if he'd face full criminal sentencing or settle with a felony plea. She stood there on the witness stand and told the judge everything. Every word he said about me. Every lie. How he laughed behind my back while I thought we were planning a future. His face turned white. His mom stormed out of the courtroom. When she walked past me, she glared like I destroyed her family. But I didn't flinch. Then it was my turn. I read my statement. I kept it short. I married a man who told me we couldn't afford a honeymoon, then watched him take a vacation on my name and my credit. When I confronted him, he laughed. When I pressed charges, he tried to scare me. This isn't about money. This is about what it costs to trust the wrong person. The courtroom was silent. The judge didn't even hesitate. You've shown a pattern of deception, manipulation, and financial abuse. You'll be convicted of felony credit fraud, identity theft, and destruction of property. Sentencing will begin immediately. He got 2 years. Not enough for what he did, maybe. But it was something. His mom tried to fight the verdict. Claimed bias. The judge told her if she spoke again out of turn, she'd be escorted out. I got the annulment. My name was cleared from all the cards. The financial record wiped after a long legal process. It took months, but I got there. His sister and we stayed in touch. She left her mom's house and cut off contact with her brother. Said it was the wake-up call she needed. You saved more than yourself, she told me. You saved me too. Looking back, I see the signs I ignored, the gut feelings I buried. I should have asked more questions. I should have trusted myself sooner. But I don't regret the revenge. I don't regret bringing it all to light. Because when someone tries to ruin your life and laughs while doing it, sometimes the best thing you can do is make sure the truth destroys theirs.